Yeah, hello. Well, basically, this this slot was more panel discussion, and the main aim of this panel discussion was to introduce all the people that are in the room with what exact services do we have in Latvia. And for that reason, the main point is to understand whom to invite. Basically, what we did, it's we invited government representatives from ministry who are responsible for air services policy and air services implementation. And we asked them to go through what kind of services in Latvia are available, what kind of services, from whom, who can use them, and how can they be accessed. As well, we asked them separately to mention are they tended to be cross-border, and so it's cross-border, then it's involved language as well. And then we asked them to just go through what main problems are and what can be identified, for example, how to attract users, what are the content translation problems and issues, how big is content that need to be translated rapidly each time, what is the statistic content, and how did they do that. And yeah, and this is one of picture from one of the presenters. He presented that one of the main issues bothering US cross-border services is language, and that was one of the main main messages that was brought up by representative from Ministry of Regional Development. And further, for this panel, the next questions was raised. Okay, if it's related to languages, then what languages are important in your specific case? What translations? How it's done? How those translations are stored and updated? And this was given them as a questionnaire or checkbox, and they could use it as they wish to present their presentations. And for panel, we had 4 representatives. Gatis Zozols, he is one of the main leaders in Latvia on introducing and developing air services and bringing this politic out and dealing with those questions. Then Armāns Magons, he is a representative of Culture and Information System Center. This center is quite interesting. They're dealing with digitalization of library content. That was at the beginning when they were established, and now they're more dealing with different data mining problems in a country that are related to libraries, museums, archives, and all kind of data. As well, and then for specific questions, we asked to participate Aivars Tilde. He is one of the main persons who is responsible for main access points for air services webpage in Latvia. This is one centralized site from which you can access to all air services in Latvia. And we asked him to go through this site and problems that they are experiencing, and how do they see how will they solve that. And I will not show all those presentations, but just some highlights. For example, Gatis Zozols, what he presented, what is behind this strategy is that we have one of the fastest internet that a lot of people are using and trusting internet bank services, and we can access internet wherever we want. We have a public parks where you can just sit on a bench and you have wireless access points, and you just can sit in the park and do what you want. And the next session was more toward what exactly do we have to show as example what we have in Latvia if we talk about automated translation, machine translation, and for what purpose we can use that. And this was presented by Armand Smagon, who is behind developing this public site hugo.lv. As he mentioned, there is no meaning behind this name Hugo. They just like it. That's it. So don't try to find some human ambitious goal organization, something like that. No, that's just a name. And this service provides translations, and this one is specifically dedicated to public administration, and it's trained on data from public administration. We had a cooperation project with Cultural Information System Center, where they asked institutions to bring their data or guide us where we can find those data and bring some terminologies that need to be used for such purpose. And at the end, this site was developed, and now everyone can go there and translate web pages that are public administration web pages, documents, and just translations. And then we had this example how this Hugo system is integrated. This is what I mentioned, this Latvia.lv, this main access point to majority of e-services in Latvia. And this is provided with automated translation widget. And through this example, we gave to audience feeling that data are necessary, and this automated translation system can help. It's not just some vision in next future that it might work and it could be really helpful. We showed, okay, here it is, you can try out, check it, leave for us comments, suggest what we can improve. And after the meeting, we got a lot of comments that public administration people were quite interested in how this system is developing at the moment, what are the plans, and they even suggested might be have regularly each year some conference or workshop to show how this is developing in whole Europe, not only in Latvia. Latvia as a first, like a step in this case, and then how it's in all Europe, in other countries, and in general in CEF-AT. And that was a really useful comment from audience. And final speaker was from Saima, our national parliament. She is head of information technology division, and her division everyday work is related to translation of different kind of documents for the members of parliament. Letters, reports, even articles in some journals or magazines, because not all members of parliament understand English or other languages, so they might understand Latvian and Russian. And she showed this example that this Hugo.lv is integrated. This is their internal system, and it's integrated in their internal system where those who are working with those translations can get access and use that as a pre-translated text, then post-edit and submit to members of parliament. So we build this session more on examples and how it should work, and to show, as I earlier mentioned, that this is just a small step toward big vision, how this multilinguality can be overcome and everyone can understand everyone. Yeah. And the one main point what we got out of this discussion is that I believe that in each country this session will be unique. It can't be replicated in country because it's different situation in every country. But main message is that there is a solution, there is a problem, there is a solution, and let's work together.
So I can imagine, yes, that it's going to be local. So the title is Multilingual Services in Poland, let's say. So who is the best speaker? Who should we target as the speaker for this session? A person who knows a lot about these multilingual services, but it shouldn't be a person from a private company that provides translation services. Or should it be rather a person from the public sector or someone from the research side? It's a panel. Okay, so yeah. So if it's a panel, then it's okay.
I can answer already. One of the really good speakers could be those who are dealing with air services and politics of air services in the country, because they know the vision where they go, what they want to reach after a few years. And if we show in advance what they can reach through this automated translation, that might be later introduced in all these political documents.
Because you are representing a company, but at the same time you are working with the EC, so you are the perfect speaker for this, or the perfect moderator.
Our company did not participate in this panel. This panel was only with representative from public administration.
And the panelists are people from
public administration
people.
From Ministry of Regional Affairs, who are responsible for policy in country, from this Culture Information Center, which are responsible for content development, digitalization of library content, and all the digitalization issues. Then as example, from SAIM, from Parliament, who are dealing who are working day to day with language, and they see this importance, how to faster do this work. Yeah. And representative again from ministry, who is responsible exactly for specific site where everyone can go and access e-services. And they see the problems, they see the challenges, they see that there is officially 3 languages at the moment on this site, but they see how rapidly they need to change information, and they see this challenge and solution for that. One is the machine translation.
Yep. I think maybe just briefly to add, so Aivars' presentation was a very strongly localized one, targeted on the specific needs of Latvia. And Latvia is extremely sophisticated in the use of language technologies. Like in Germany, for example, it was much more basic. It was colleagues from the ministries saying how they manage translation at the moment. Just giving a report on what are their pain points, what are their needs, the main languages, how many translators, what are the main languages they're translating into, etc. It's really just to hear from your audience, to get a first idea of what is their day-to-day work like, what are their main concerns, where could they have support, etc. And of course, in a country like Latvia, which is so advanced in this area, it's much more focused already on machine translation, for example, as a solution.
You said in the beginning that in Germany, for example, you had a structured discussion. So there was a moderator who were asking questions, and you can do it in many different ways. Maybe you can share with us the list of questions that were asked that could also help us.
Just briefly on that. In the slide set, there's a list of questions that were used. And you see these questions kind of like instantiated to the specifics of the Latvian situation. But in the reference slides, they're just put down as bullet points. I think there's 1 or 2 pages of bullet points that were used.
It is really impressive what you can do in Latvia. And I was wondering whether that could be used maybe by some of us in some way or the other. I mean, I would like to, I hope that we will be present at our workshop, but still maybe also for everyone, it could be nice to have some kind of description of what you are doing. I don't know if it exists in a way, in a format that can be useful for the workshops, but I think that would be a very good inspiration, because many of the things that we dream about are already almost there in your case. Yeah.
Definitely, we can share this experience and show practical results of it, and show how this starting from one small project and building up this large vision.
Okay.
As a short add-on, I'm sorry, I always need to use the microphone, but this is maybe something that can now happen with the workshops which come up, that we have something like best practice, even sharing experiences among the countries. That's why we are all together, actually, just to give an incentive.
I think the videos on the website.
Yes, the videos are anyways on the website.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, just to be inspired.
Well, we have voice-over translation for all Latvian presentations, so it's not an issue.
So that would be something.
I don't know if I understand the aim of the panel, the main questions. Is that to get a picture of the status and the situation in the country and the plans and needs and things like that?
Experiences from the practitioners that do the translation, that manage the documents, that do anything with a language and other languages in the country, from the point of view of the people on the ground, in the ministries, NGOs, public services. It's really just to hear from them,
Okay.
hear their voices.
Thank you.
And we saw an extremely sophisticated version of that. Okay, I think we should move on,
Yep.
because it's like we're completely.
I just want to remark that one voice we haven't heard from is the translator. So we invited them for this panel.
And in Berlin as well, and also in Athens, yeah. I mean, as I said, you see a very locally adapted and current version of this. Okay, great, thank you. We'll move on to the next presentation.